As you can see, this episode covers a wide range of global events. We will discuss XRP Ripple intelligently. Z-Hook's contract. We'll talk about John Dion's triumph. We're going to finish the migration that Polygon is about to undertake, so without further ado, let's dive into Bitcoin. $565.63. The entire market is struggling. It has dropped 4.28% in the last day, with Ethereum trading at $23.95 and the US dollar and US currency pair at their dollar pegs. Regarding XRP, it is currently trading at a mean lean 55 cents, which is roughly equivalent to $2. This is a decrease. The entire market valuation of cryptocurrencies is still at 3.25% and is above $2 trillion, which is precisely where we want it to be at $2 trillion and $1 billion. We have forewarned you, and I am taking action. I am buying. I understand how this situation unfolds, and I am aware of the direction the markets are headed. September is often a red month, but since it's still early in the month, we can reverse this pattern and make it green. It is a monetary expense. Typical possibility to purchase. I do have a handful of XRP that I will be acquiring today. My gaze landed on a bar. We've been in a bear market for the past 4 years, so that's what happens when you don't buy anything. At this point, I could definitely purchase more H-bars. I haven't purchased H-bars since around 2020, but it would be wonderful to add them to my collection. Please flatten out my DCA at once. I'm focusing on it, then. I haven't finished it yet, but I'll let you know if I do. However, as you are aware, our ecosystem utilizes TLN Lux Lions token for staking, minting, and the release of all our metaverse games. It is approaching. The item will be listed on Monday, September 9th, and you should purchase the Founders Edition immediately. Of course, there aren't many left, and I am aware that they are priced at $24.75. When you see that price, you might be alarmed, but keep reading. In addition to earning a Founders Minimalist on a plot of land in the metaverse and a deluxe list with 15 points that earns you 15 times more XRP than someone without any, you also receive 100,000 bronze tokens with an unlock schedule. The token is currently trading at 3 cents, but those 100,000 tokens will soon be worth $3,000. What will happen to the token then? I'm not sure, but given that this is a straight-up, fair launch and no one owns the token, I can only see this going in one direction. This is because, as simple physics tells me, if there is no sell pressure and something is released that no one can obtain, they can only purchase it at a higher price so they can pay for themselves, but this ends. You'll want to grab them on Sunday, the 8th, because the token goes live on the 9th. Breaking news: XRP and credit cards are accepted. John Dion won Massachusetts in a landslide. Desired a ridiculous landslide, but Massachusetts didn't even produce a large number of votes. This is what was present. 8909 votes. That's fantastic news for John. This is really incredible. This is the video he posted. Look at him, he even performs a small victory dance and triumph walk. I assure you, it will play here. Now, let's give it a slight buffer before we proceed. Given the technological issues, we might need to take a small break before continuing. The refresh always works, but in this case, crowd cheers. Music, applause, is a small dance, and congrats to the top flyer, F. He is going to face Elizabeth Warren. I am very excited about that. Discuss to see what John will bring. Congratulations to John Dion on this Polygon. They will be switching from their magic token to Poly. This is huge for the whole crypto space. Need individuals like John in office, or at least involved in this debate, to begin enlightening others about the current state of the U.S. economy. The U.S. Polygon is the second largest layer, according to Tokens Today. 2. Today marks the start of a significant upgrade for the Ethereum-based network, with the long-standing Matic token shifting to PAL-PA. Given that Matic is the 28th largest cryptocurrency and has a robust market presence, with a market valuation of $3.6 billion, tokens indicate that many cryptocurrency investors will be directly impacted by the move if they own Matic. You had better go and find out how to obtain the new tokens. To some extent, this is a Polygon 2.0. It claims that Poly is an extremely productive token that any chain can use to obtain valuable services. It is good to know that while the community works toward this exciting vision, the network has a future-proof native token that it can use to promote its growth. This goes double for large players in the Polygon network, including the Age layer itself. Polygon is now priced at $389, just under 40 cents. For those of you keeping score at home, that is 38 cents. We recently made the news, as you are aware. After reading this small blog post that Ripple published yesterday about his sentiments over the integration of smart contracts on the XRP ledger, I'll tell you my thoughts. As we say, he took his time. I'm not upset with anyone over it. I don't mean to offend anyone, but to be honest, I don't fully comprehend the circumstances. Ripple originally stated that they opposed smart contracts. Wheatwin was discontinued. Ripple helped him raise the money, as you know. I'm not sure if he's furious because he developed hooks on top of his Z network, sold his Z token, and profited from it. Of course, they received funding from Ripple to do this. Ripple is now competing with him, or he is upset that Ripple changed course, but competition is great for the market. If you were the only person in the crypto space doing something, you probably didn't have a very good use case because other people would have taken up the idea if it could solve a problem or add functionality. Therefore, if he is concerned about the competition from this angle, it makes sense. Even facing an enormous competitor like Ripple, he won't be able to capture the whole market share. Other players might have been able to step in and develop this layer 2 smart contract hooks functionality instead. The fact that Ripple returned to the jury board is, in my opinion, quite positive. I've posted this tweet here, and I firmly believe it to be true. Please listen to this. Extremely tightly when Ripple first refused to allow smart contracts, people cried and screamed, driving them insane. Ripple is what I recall. They refused to implement smart contracts, which is absurd because they're holding back. The book blah 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 returning to the Jing board, Ripple has now approved smart contracts after David Schwartz took a seat and devised a method to enable them at a time when people are furious. Since he did it, the wind passed over. People are now upset that Ripple returned to the J board and that their intentions are changing. Am I right? Businesses adjust and make decisions consistently, and they are entitled to. I'm not sure what's wrong since everyone can do this. Although I'm still not entirely sure how this works, it's really helpful. As a result, David Schwartz returned, saying, "Look, we went back to the journal board, and we figured out that this is going to be very beneficial, and that this is going to help. The XRP ledger is introducing this programmability." He also said, "Look, I became convinced that it's possible to come up with a proposal for smart contracts on the XRP ledger. You can tell I'm going to read you the points." Ripple is releasing smart contracts on the XRP ledger, as well as Win and his Z network. He presented the ideas they had, clearly holding meetings to discuss this, and they took a seat. He claimed that after talking about it, they came up with a quick and secure solution. This solution is sufficient to launch a manner without materially jeopardizing aspects like transaction pricing stability and payment performance. Second, should the need arise, a starting point for developing more sophisticated and potent features in the future, provided that the original plan holds up and is insufficient to support significant real-world use cases even in the first release. Hopefully, that means this is not an experimental piece of work. One may argue that Hooks already meets all three of these criteria. However, I'm not quite convinced it meets the first one, so David kind of looked at Hooks he saw. Instead, something that could be deployed on a much faster timeline and still hit all three heads of the point above should be experimented with and researched for 2 years before anything goes live. There might be a flaw in it, and he's changing now. Or he's altering what he saw to be a potential issue before transferring smart contracts to the XRP ledger. Once again, we should consider things from the perspective of competition, which is healthy and beneficial for all, as everyone needs rivalry. Up until they refused to do anything to improve the product and eventually went out of business, AOL had no competitors. This will only serve to motivate both businesses to advance, move forward, adopt new practices, and alter existing ones to produce the greatest product possible. I don't see a problem with it. In fact, I love it. However, once again, those in the crypto community who were upset that Ripple didn't have to enable smart contracts on the XRP ledger are now furious because they believe this is a positive development.